Hi, this is Ella on another episode of Imosa. Good morning, Richard.
Morning.
Thank you for having us today on today's episode of Imosa. We're meeting up with Richard Robert, who is an artist, but very unique
Yes,
in
indeed.
his artwork because he uses a lot of natural materials, mainly picked up from the beach,
Beach
from the
itself.
shore.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Richard, why did you choose that kind of material for your artwork?
Um, I've always been interested in seashells. I've always found them interesting, fascinating, and I've always collected shells. Always picking nice things from the beach, but never really doing anything with
Mm-hmm.
them. Um, and so when COVID came around, um, this is a story I tell all the time because it's my origin story. Um, all the shops were closed. My sister was going to have her birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to give her something. But since the gift shops were closed, I didn't have anything, but I had shells. And I had a photo frame, a small photo frame lying around. So I said, okay, why don't I make a photo frame for her?
Mm-hmm.
So I made the photo frame, I gifted her, and she showed it to her friends, and her friends showed the frame to their friends.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 years later, I have a shop. I I'm making more things.
You've got more
I'm
shells.
yeah, and I have loads more shells.
And what's the name of your business for people that don't know?
Unik shells.
Mm-hmm.
UNIK.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you are located in.
Camion Hall Building, shop number 16.
What are some of the other materials that you work with other than shells?
So I work mainly with seashells and corals, but I also use sea glass, drift seeds, and driftwood,
Mm-hmm.
and anything else basically I find on the beach.
And these are the
Yeah, these are the sea
sea
glass that
glass,
I
sea
picked.
glasses.
Yeah,
And what are some of the products that you make with them?
mainly for now I'm making keychains
Mm-hmm.
with the sea glass, and I'm incorporating them with shells, the small pieces of driftwood and drift seeds also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if I understood correctly, your inspiration started from finding a solution
To a problem.
to a problem.
Oh yes, a big problem.
How long usually does it take you to work on a piece where you satisfied enough to say, right, this can go. I can now put this on the shelf.
Um, the length of time it takes me to finish a product really depends on the product I'm making itself.
Mm.
It can range from 15 minutes to a whole day, or a
Mm-hmm.
few weeks, or even a few months.
Wow.
Um, because I don't only make like small things like keychains,
Mm-hmm.
I make like big mirrors. So mirrors, I have a few mirrors that have taken me months to make.
Mm-hmm.
And even the materials it took me to make the mirror took me years to pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have this one mirror, but the shells that I'm decorating it with took me 4 years
Mm-hmm.
to pick up all the shells. And I'm ever only going to have this one mirror that I'm going to make out of those shells.
Wow. And whoever buys that one
They'll be the
piece
only one to
is
have
gonna
it.
be
Yeah,
unique.
yeah.
Wow.
Most of 95% of the work that I make is one of one,
Mm-hmm.
because the shells are different, the texture is different, the color is different, the shades are different,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have a template when I'm creating things, so I'm always starting from scratch. So no two items will ever, ever, ever be the
Be
same.
the same. Wow, yeah, that's actually what makes it
It makes
special
it
and
difficult for
unique.
me
Yeah.
actually because I cannot mass produce.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what I do produce is definitely unique.
Mm. What does it take for you to be able to make this kind of work?
It takes a lot of your time.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to have a lot of patience.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have resilience
I
because
think num.
I generally put out any products I'm not satisfied with.
Mm-hmm.
So I might start over a few times until
Mm-hmm.
I get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I find that the shell that I'm using is not correct, I will not do a product until
Yeah.
I find the right shell. I could import the shells. I could like try to find other shells to put it, but if I'm set on this particular shell or coral, I will wait until I get that coral or shell until I make a product.
Mm. So you rather still use the local
I
what
always
we have
use
locally.
local products,
Yeah.
local shells, local corals, local
Mm-hmm.
sea glass. I've I've never imported any corals or
Mm.
shells. I'm basically doing everything from what I pick.
Yeah. That's wonderful. What would be your advice to any other artist wanting to work with natural materials like you do?
They have to have a lot of patience. And it basically is try to find something that is unique to you.
Mm-hmm.
Try to do something that you're comfortable with to start with, and try to be different. Try to challenge yourself. Um, because before I ventured into other products, I did a lot of research
Mm-hmm.
and I solved a lot of problems that customers had.
For
Um,
example.
um, like how to one problem is how to display corals.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have a really nice piece of coral in your home without constantly being a danger to itself, like breaking or
Mm-hmm.
cleaning. So I try to solve that problem, and basically how to care for the corals, how to care for the
Mm.
shells. And I'm always educating my clients. I'm always finding new ways to make art with things that I find on the beach.
Mm.
Um, like, for example, how many times have you gone to the beach and you've seen a piece of wood and you just,
Driftwood, yeah.
yeah, you just like,
But
yeah.
for me, they look beautiful. Eh? It's just
It's
I'm scratching my
you
head. What can I do with it?
you have to find the gems. You have to be able to see the end product
Mm.
before you pick it,
Mm-hmm.
before you take it home, before you clean it or disinfect it. You have to see the end product.
Mm-hmm. For people that are wondering, since you also work with corals, do you source your corals sustainably?
Always,
Mm-hmm.
always sustainably, always ethically. Um, I even if it means buying it from another person that
Mm-hmm.
has it already, I'm always adding value to it.
So the corals that you work with, are they already bleached corals? Things that you pick up from the shore?
I always pick my shells and corals ethically. Um, if they're still alive, I will
Mm-hmm.
never pick. If they have animals inside, I will never take them
Mm-hmm.
from the beach. Um, and especially for the corals, I make sure that they are already bleached
Mm-hmm.
corals. Um, and a lot of the corals that I have um, are people that offer them to me. Maybe they have one at home,
Mm-hmm.
or like I'm not using this anymore. I don't know what to do with it, or um, would you mind taking it
Mm-hmm.
and doing something with
Adding
it? So I'm
value
like,
to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Were you always an artist, or did that come about when you decided to make that frame for
I
your sister?
I've always been artistic.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had a passion for art, and especially shells. I love the shapes of shells. I love the patterns. I love the texture, their spirals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and for me to be able to make art with them is totally far from where I thought I'd be in life, because I come from a background of law enforcement, and this is totally out
This is
of
more
yeah.
zen,
Oh yeah, yeah,
relaxed,
yeah.
creative.
I could do this all day. Like even if I go pick a whole beach and end up with back pain and knee pain, the satisfaction that I get from
Wow.
finding the shells or finding the corals
Mm,
to like making them into products where they are actually appreciated, loved, cared for. Um, the satisfaction is more than I will ever get from a 9 to 5 job.
wow. So, and that also is where we say when you're enjoying your work that much, it doesn't even feel like work.
Exactly, exactly.
You expressing
Yeah,
yourself, you putting your
yeah.
artistic skills into, I mean, into all these lovely products that are here.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And the thing is that sometimes you work a lot of hours to put out one product or a few products, and there's this one client that comes in, sees it, and takes it all. It's like, man, I just did that. At least let it sit for
Let
a
it
few
sit for a
hours.
few hours.
Nah, they
You kind
just
of
take
get
it.
attached to it,
Yeah, yeah.
huh?
It's something emotional. It's something emotional because you pour your energy, you pour your emotion, you pour your like your artistry
Mhm,
into it. And like I said, I never let it go until I'm satisfied myself
mhm,
with the product.
mhm. Do you have any bestsellers in maybe a specific categories?
Ah, bestsellers. My bestseller is actually the photo frame that I make.
Hmm.
There's one on top, the one with the white shells.
Yeah.
Um, this one sells fast, especially because we have like a lot of people that come to the Seychelles to get married, um, even to put like special photographs,
Mm,
of people
mm.
or a certain event.
Especially if you're marrying in Seychelles
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this
it has
is
more value.
it
Yeah,
adds value
yeah.
to your event. Richard, thank you for having us today. It's been a pleasure. I really, really like your products.
Thank you. I worked
It's
hard.
locally made. It's nothing imported.
Yeah.
It's got love and a lot of attention to it. So keep it up, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Good.
I'll continue.
Ibosa.
Bossa, yeah.